will switch to English as we are approaching our last but not least speaker, Peter de Boer, newly, I would say, appointed CEO of DN AGRAR Group, as last year when attending Financial Intelligence Conference, you were not still a CEO. Congratulations for you as well for the newly announced strategy. It's not such a new strategy, but still I think worth mentioning. What are the main pillars and the projects that you are envisaging? Moreover, that you are diversifying the stream from only milk producing to compost, biogas and greenhouses. What are the key pillars of the new strategy?
Yeah, so first, thank you very much for the invitation and this amazing location. I stay many times around here, but I've never been inside, so first of all, thank you for that. And thank you as well for the compliments. Of course, we had a change in management team quite recently, in May, as well as announcements for our strategy. We had quite some changes, although we didn't attract any new manager, so we only had some change in positions inside of the company, which sustains the continuity of our business model. Regarding the strategy, although you were mentioning it's not such a new strategy, I would say I partly disagree on that part. We announced quite some projects, which is of course further extension of our main business line. We are the largest milk producer in all of Europe, including the UK. This year we expect to deliver 70 million liters of milk, and by 2030, with investments that we have already announced in our strategy, we aim to produce 150 million liters of milk, which could be even also 200 million liters of milk. So we are aiming to double our milk production and to further consolidate our market leader position. Next to that, as you mentioned, yeah, we are currently in our diversification strategy. We had several options. From our perspective, we become too large just to supply the Romanian dairy market. There are, let's say, 4 or 5 large dairy processors in Romania who can handle our quantities. So we had several options to do, as also what, I think what investors expect from us, do where you're good at and where you have experience in, and don't go on all types of adventures. So either to do M&As or construct farms outside of Romania, or to look for certain ways how we could more increase our exports. There are several currently issues, I would say, for the Romanian agricultural sector. One is the price cap that is on dairy products, although I read last weekend, but okay, it was in a more or less, I would say, a boulevard newspaper, that there are rumors that this will be cancelled from next month, but from our perspective, this is highly problematic. Romania is a significantly imports milk, more than 50%. If we look to final products, it's even over 60%, as butter as well. Still, the milk price in Romania is the lowest in all of Europe. That is quite a contradiction, I would say. So we were analyzing how could we further grow in the things where our strength is. So currently we started exports to Greece and northern Italy. And, but of course transportation costs remain an issue. So that's the reason we just announced that we will open our first processing plant next year, where we will produce cream and skimmed milk used for export. As well, from the skimmed milk, we will add to the skimmed milk plant that we can extract the water as well to further reduce transportation cost. And it will have a capacity of 150,000 liters of milk per day. Probably that sounds small, but that is, to give you a bit of scale, that is directly half of the production capacity Napolat has currently. And in the coming years, we aim to further increase. So in the coming years, it's our goal to build up the market. And what it gives other benefits as well. Now we are more or less, not forced, but let's say, as I mentioned, we could deliver to 4 or 5 processors. When we start to produce cream and skimmed milk, we could also sell our products without really competing with our current clients to ice factories, large bakeries, food processors like Nestle, Unilever, etc. So we can also diversify our clientele portfolio inside Romania as well as in the region. So that is one diversification. The other one is biomethane. We signed a contract with Black Sea Oil and Gas over a year ago. Also, the development contract and the supply agreement are signed. It's an investment between 30 to 40 million euros. DN AGRAR is responsible to deliver the feedstock to the plant, and we expect to be operational in 2028. There's one constraint, is that currently injection biomethane into the grid in Romania is not, I would say, legalized. It's not happening at the moment anyway, but there are some good prospects, and in the coming weeks we expect that the government comes out with a bill. Currently we have acquired the land and we are in the permitting phase, and we expect that we can start to produce biomethane from 2028. It will be one of the largest plants directly in Romania, between 15 megawatts and 20 megawatts, which will give a new income stream of 3.5 to 4 million euros a year for the DN AGRAR. As the amount maybe doesn't sound that high, it's based on a 15-year contract, although we only are responsible for the transportation. So we have only the transportation cost, let's say, on that part. Next to that, we reduce our emissions by 90%. Then the other pillar is the compost. We opened our organic fertilizer plant, the first one, end of last year. This year we are doubling capacity to 14,000 tons, and we have a clear strategy by 2030 that we will produce around 40,000 tons of organic fertilizer, which have good market prices. Let's say per ton, current sales prices are between 180 and 220 euros. This we could further increase margins, that we will later on also invest in a packaging machine with 5, 10 and 20 liters, which means we could sell also to Dedemant, Kaufland, or these kind of retailers. And there the margins are significantly higher. So that will be another income stream as well as reduction in emissions. And for a bit more on the long term, which we are currently conducting a research with a big Four firm, is to develop a large agri-food cluster. We see also a large deficit by vegetable production and fruit production in Romania. Currently we're conducting a market research for 2 regions. One is near the Bucharest metropolitan area, as well as a region between Bratislava, Budapest and Vienna. We expect the results beginning of next year, and there we plan based on the Dutch model, which is also implemented already in Mexico, for example, which is now currently the largest fruit and vegetables producer in the world. And mainly supplying all of the United States as well as South America. Based on that model, to find certain synergies and to start develop a large agri-food cluster where we have tens of hectares with greenhouses, but also certain processing, logistics shared, R&D shared. That will be quite a large investment, probably initial investment between 60 and 80 million euros, and then gradually in the coming 5 to 10 years we should extend that. And there we will look for financing closer in 2027 or 2028. Of course, we would like to attract pension funds and institutional investors to be part of, as well as EU funds.
I'm sure investors will be following it in more details on Friday, as you have Investor Day and you expect large attendance. When I refer to relatively new, is that the Impact announced just last week the strategy. I think you have already 1 month since you announced the strategy. That was the reason of announcing it. Just a final short question. I'm sure we are all curious, what are your plans? Because you reached, and you are the largest issuer on the Euro market. You are often referred to the star of the market, you know, with doubling your share price this year. What is next in capital markets for DN AGRAR?
Yeah, so I always dreamt of being a football player when I was young. Let's say my brother was way better than I am, and he's a football coach now. And yeah, we were mentioned somewhere Vendetta, so now at least that was a nice term to see in the media, let's say. But no, regarding the strategy, that is true, and we have a 5-year strategy, including financial scenarios. Certain things are included. This year we have already a share price growth of over 90%. We are a bit over 3 years on the capital market. We have a growth of over 300%. And so far, I think we succeeded every quarter to grow. We also had just a budget update, that we expect a 28% higher net profit than estimated at the beginning of the year. Although every time you think when you start to know the capital markets, we didn't see any effect. But okay, let's hope that will come in the coming period. And you mentioned Investor Day. Yeah, it's a key moment, I think, in the history of DN AGRAR. I think it will be the largest capital market event in Romania this year. Present institutional investors, retail investors, media, I think, and all our partners where we are developing with in the coming years are there as well. So it's not only a presentation from DN AGRAR and the new management team. We go through in all the pillars I just mentioned, but also all the partners where we will sign contracts with in the coming years, where we will develop certain things with. And I think it's good to mention is how do we work is we have a clear strategy now for 5 years. We provide on different variables, 4 financial scenarios to 2030. And so far we have delivered every time and more than we have promised. We have a clear communication on that part. So yeah, if you didn't participate, although registration is closed, but if you would send an email to our investors email, for sure we will find a place for you.